Hi everyone, Happy New Year. You know, I always wonder when I'm preparing something as dry as operating results if anyone's actually listening, and if they're listening, are they actually understanding anything that I'm presenting? So I'm going to start with 3 multiple choice questions. The answers are: we're doing better than plan, on plan, or worse than plan. So the first question, by a show of hands. Global volume, so that means all our inpatient activity and outpatient activity overall. Are we doing better than plan? Okay, about half the room. Are we on plan? A few. Are we below plan? Okay. The answer is above plan. We're doing better than plan almost across the board. Cardiac. So our cardiac program, above plan. Again, about half the room. On plan. A few. Anyone think we're doing below plan? Good. And then bottom line, finances. On a bottom line basis, are we above plan? Better than plan? Almost everyone. On plan? Anyone think we're not doing as well as we planned? Good. Okay, so actually the right answers on all of them were we're doing better than plan everywhere, which is phenomenal. So we've got certainly our work cut out for us this year to continue to do the good things that we're doing, and it's really not just management here, guys. It's every one of you. You're doing a phenomenal job. I can't tell you how proud I am and how much people are talking about us outside of this room when I go to the CFO meetings with the LIN, when I'm doing presentations, and when I'm talking to the ministry and the LIN on trying to get additional funding. It certainly helps when you've got a good track record. So well done, and keep up the great work. So I'm going to spend about 5 minutes on the nitty-gritty. Inpatient, we are on track overall. And the really good news here, and for those folks in post-acute care who have been struggling in the first half of the year, we've been plagued. We've been plagued with infection control issues, which has limited our capacity and our bed usage. We've been plagued with facilities issues at this site, with leaky rooms, which have since been fixed. And our post-acute team has managed to catch up on the lost volumes from the first half of the year. So we're actually now on plan to end the year according to our targeted volumes, which is phenomenal. Well done to you all. Rehab also was struggling, again, the same units. And the good news here, we're still below plan. We're still within our acceptable range for our HSAR, but we're going in the right direction. We're starting to recoup some of the lower volumes from the early part of the year. ED visits, no change there. We're still well above plan, 7% above. And despite that, as you saw in the balanced scorecard, we're doing exceedingly well on our wait times in that area. So phenomenal performance on the part of ED staff. Keep up the great work. Wait time procedures, likewise. All volumes pretty much across the board are on plan or above. And the wait times themselves in days, we're actually meeting them. Pretty much green or orange in some areas across the board. And our cardiac team, just phenomenal performance there, folks. We have actually already gotten, I don't remember which month it was, but halfway through the year we got some additional money to increase our volumes. And we're still cranking out incredible volumes in our cardiac area. There's huge patient demand in the LIN for these services. Advanced arrhythmia is going gangbusters, better than we've ever done before. And that's all really good. And now we are hoping to get, and we have a request into the LIN for another $1.6 million for our advanced arrhythmia program. I just sent them yesterday our Q3 results and our revised forecast. Crossing my fingers, by the end of the month, hopefully we'll get that. If we don't get that additional funding, we're going to have to start to crank down our volumes. That's going to increase wait times. It means suboptimal patient care to our communities. We don't want to do that, but we also can't perform volumes that we don't have funding for. That's a given from our board perspective. So we're putting a lot of pressure on the LIN and the ministry to give us that extra money. Bottom line, $6 million surplus. Our total surplus budgeted for the year is $4.5 million. We've already exceeded that. That's phenomenal. We're only 3 quarters through the year. So that's tremendous. $4.8 million of that is revenue. So revenue has just been driving this. This is not about expenses being lower than planned. This is about working on our revenues. This is about getting revenue that we didn't anticipate. This is about making sure that we're paying attention to collecting money where we have money owing to us. We're doing all the right things. We're continuing to push on that front. And as I've always said, revenue is the area of opportunity for us. We're going to continue to focus on it. And the flip side, operating costs, we're pretty much on budget. Where we're not on budget, we're slightly off budget. So you guys are all controlling those expenses. Certainly we do have overtime and sick time and overtime issues in many areas. That continues to be a problem. We're trying to manage that as best we can, and it does cost us more money to replace staff and to use overtime hours. But so we've got to keep focused on that. And the last bit of good news, so what is this all for? Ultimately, it's for our patients. We've got great access to services, low wait times. That's what we're all about. But on a bottom line basis, what are we doing with this excess surplus? Well, we're spending it. We're investing it in the front lines. And the senior management team approved $2.6 million of additional spend. This was unbudgeted spend. We don't have this budgeted, and I believe, well, many of you are aware that your management teams have been submitting requests to the senior management team for one-time spend item. This is everything from supplies to med carts to training, education programs. This is all frontline, direct patient care stuff, which we're all benefiting from because of your hard work. So keep it up.